All right, second example, and it's a little bit easier. So we're going to graph the function y equals cosine of x plus 2. Okay, so I have on the right-hand side of the screen some general key steps that you probably will want to take when you go to approach graphing with these transformations. Okay, first things first, figure out what your key points are. Okay, so we have a cosine function. We already know our x values. Those are very straightforward, okay? We've got 0, pi halves, pi, 3 pi halves, and 2 pi. Now, if you have a period adjustment, so if you have a b value right over here, then you will need to adjust your x values. But in this case, we don't. Okay, so we're going to use just those same x values. Okay, the y values might change. Now, on a cosine function, we typically don't start at 0, 0. We usually start at a point on the y-axis. 1 is the parent key points, okay, or the non-transformed key points. So 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. Because remember, this has a repeating pattern to it, and it's almost reverse of what sine's graph looks like. Almost. It's been shifted just a little bit, but it's really close to what the sine function looks like. Okay, so we now have our key points. Step 2 is to adjust if needed. Since I have no values in front of the cosine, nor any values in front of x, I don't actually need to adjust my key points. Sometimes you do, and if that's the case, you will need to adjust your key points. Okay, both x and y, or just x, or just y, doesn't really matter. Okay. Third step, you're going to plot those key points that we just did in step 1. Before I do the plotting though, I'm going to make sure I have these x values written on both sides of the x-axis, because you never know. So pi halves, pi, 3 pi halves, 2 pi. My writing is a little sloppy and I apologize. I'm just trying to get through this a little quickly, but not too quickly. Okay, so my last video explained why I had to put values here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plot our key points. So 0, 1. Now remember, ooh, I don't like that color. I'm going to switch colors. Now, one thing I want you guys to remember is that I am going to mark the key points for right now with X's because they could end up getting shifted. Okay, so those pink X's show where my key points are. But now I need to see if I have to shift my key points anywhere. Okay, let's take a look. I've got this +2 right here. It's not with the x, so it's not going to be a left or right shift. It's on the outside of the function, so it has to be an up and down shift. And up and down shifts, we obey the sign, so we got to move the graph up 2 units. So all of my light pink x's need to move up 1, 2 units. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm doing that for all of those points. Then I can draw my function.